Instagram. Am I? Yeah, I'm on YouTube. I'm on Twitch, and I'm on. Okay, fine. That's fine. I'm on live. Why is this not fucking working? Okay. There's that. Let's see if it dumps off. Yes, it does, you fucking moron. I don't know how to make it loop. All right, I think I'm gonna just go with it the way it is. Testing, 1, 2. All right, let me go. Thanks. Oh, great. No banner. Yo. What up, people? Just trying to get it together. Had a little falling out. Anybody in the chats? Give me a thumbs up if you hear me. What up, what up, what up? Get a little music. Why not? Running a little late today. Sorry about that, my people. Oh, great. I don't have the songs. This is great. What a fucking day. There we go.
You think you know about relationships, but you're wrong. Listen, there's no magic bullet. I'm teaching life skills.
When you're sick, you need medicine. It don't always taste good. Nah. But it'll get you better. You need this medicine. It ain't gonna always taste good. But this is what you need. Men and women, bottom line, we need to have the conversation. Your partner wants to give up control, but only if you know how to drive. This is about being the best you could ever be, whoever you are. I don't care if you're a man, a woman, LGBTQ, space aliens. I'll save anybody, I don't care. I'll teach a hedgehog how to have a threesome.
What do you mean by that?
Look, you don't have to listen to me, but you're wrong.
Listen, I know I'm great. And I know you're thinking, Dante, there's no way I could be like you. But you could be me, you know why?
Because you know who I was? Before I was me, I was you.
Young man score 202. Better hear what I've got to say because you won't get it again.
I'm not an alpha male. I'm not a beta male either. I'm just a better man. Well, put your happiness first, because if you don't, they won't.
What up, what up, what up, what up, what up, what up? My people in the CIO building. What's the deal?
What up, people? What's going on? What's going on? Y'all hear me in the chat? Let me hear. Let me get a thumbs up if y'all hear me. Please, please, please give me a thumbs up in the chat. Up. We are live on Twitch. We are live on YouTube. We are live on Instagram. I appreciate y'all. People are coming in slow, so that's cool. I got a lot of stuff on my mind. We're gonna be a little short today because Godfrey is out in LA, out at Netflix as a joke. So we're gonna be a little and before we start, let's do this. Hey, how about that? Like and subscribe. Comment, really important. How I keep doing this thing. And if y'all don't like and subscribe, also coming soon, I'm starting a political podcast called Unsurrected. It's coming soon, so look for that, y'all. Look for that. Real excited about that. Let's just make sure that the phone lines is up, and we can rock and roll. A little late, but not too bad. Let's see. Make sure we rocking and rolling. Yeah, I know. Yup. Let's see what we're doing here. Great. How come I'm not? Yes, I am. All right. So, all right, we're up. We're up and running, y'all. You know how we do this. Had a good day. People are still coming in the numbers. I'm running a little late, but we are here and we are in the building. A little frazzled today, but it is what it is. There's a few things I wanted to talk to. I had a great time with y'all Sunday. I had a great time with y'all Sunday. I'm liking that Sunday vibe. Let me shout out to the people that are on in the chat. In the chat, shout out to let's start from the top. Damn, it's a lot of motherfuckers in here. Jonathan Cleofat, shout out to him. Good evening. Michael Love, good evening. Wagwan, Anthony DeRosa, It Cometh, Sterling, And let's see who else is in here. Michael Love, Sunny Low, 31st. What's popping? All the people, Jet Turbo in the building. Kal-El, my bad. People in the chat, thank you. Y'all can hear me good? Yes? If y'all can, yes, my dude. So phone numbers are open. Phone lines are open. You don't know what to do. Call in 929-269-4922. The phone numbers are phone lines are open. Shout out to Eric Panoranda. Thanks for coming in, bro. I haven't heard that name before. I don't know if he was on my live before, but I'm excited. Feeling really good. Been doing a lot of consultations, and y'all. What's interesting about that is y'all have a tendency to teach me, which is dope. That I learned something from y'all as well. It's just it's a dope situation when we, when I can learn from y'all just like y'all can learn from me. Really appreciate that. It's difficult sometimes because sometimes I got a rockhead and I don't always want to, I don't always want to listen, but it's important that we listen to each other. So I want to talk about something real quick that hit me until the first call comes in at least. Y'all hear me talk about the 5 bricks, laying the 5 bricks. And what laying the 5 bricks consists of going out, paying 5 women a compliment every day. I used to say for 8 weeks, but I think I should change it because it's kind of, to me, it's almost like should be a regular practice. It should be something that you should do all the time because I'm a comic. I've been a comic for 24 years. And if I'm off stage, if I haven't been on stage in a week, I start to get rusty. And I've been doing it for 24 years. So you can imagine that if you're not staying social, and I mean that, you need to be social. A lot of times I'll hear guys say to me, well, I'm not really that kind of outgoing person. I don't care. Your situation is the way it is because you're not social. So let's get it. Let's get it. Let's figure out how we have to change and how we can make things better. That's the most important thing. Y'all, I really want to help y'all. Well, there are the phones, so I guess we'll get into this later. And bam. 1 2 1 2.
Hugh.
Yeah.
To accept call from.
Oh shit. Did I lose him? I did lose him. Hey Hugh, call back, please. I lost you. I'm fucking fumbling around with shit. So call back. And you know what? Let me see. I wonder if I can call him. That would even be better. Yeah, I'll call him back. Hugh, pick up the phone, bro. It's me. Hugh, you there? Pick up the goddamn phone. You watching me. I'm calling you.
Hey.
Hugh, what's going on, brother? I'm sorry, man. I was fumbling around with the buttons and screwed up. So I'm a little out of sorts today. But what's going on, Hugh? Where you calling from?
Yeah, man. I'm calling from Florida.
Cool. How can I help you, my brother?
Yeah, so I kind of have a situation to where, I don't have a problem getting a girl, but it's more or less
keeping her.
I kind of have a situation to where, in a situation with two girls.
Okay.
And
this is a problem you like to have, but go ahead. What's the problem?
Right. So they're kind of around like the they're very competitive in their own right. And
now, are they aware? Are they aware of each other?
One of them is aware. My side is aware of the main.
Okay. And the main is not
aware.
Is not okay. So now you know what I say about that, right?
No, I don't.
Okay. So here's my thing. What happens if your main finds out what's going on? What do you think is going to happen?
I think the biggest thing would probably be just probably like a lot of um just probably more or less a heartache.
Okay.
Probably just more or less heartache and me feeling like a you know less than
No.
a reasonable guy.
Okay. I mean, well, let me ask you this: do your main, you love her?
Yeah.
Do you want to see her hurt, or does it not matter to you?
Well, it's kind of like a situation to where I don't want either one. I like them both. I like them both around the same. I think they're
Equally,
both.
but one's been
Yeah.
around longer.
Right. Right.
Okay. All right.
And it's kind of a situation to where, and they're both Capricorns, and they're born
Please.
around
Okay.
the same.
Stop. I don't want. Are you saying that because their birthday is the same, or that it matters? You think that because they're Capricorns, it matters?
No, I just think, and I'm not really into the quasars and things like that. I think
Astrology,
it's
not
more,
into astrology.
yeah, that
Okay.
they're more or less, they're kind of similar in some comparable way. They're similar in some ways,
Okay.
and I think my thing is that
How old are you?
30.
Okay. Look, you're a young dude, right? And if you're not ready to be monogamous, the question is why are you portraying yourself to be monogamous? Is a question I'd like to know.
That's a good question, and my side, I kind of let her know from the jump, like, hey, I got my girl, and it was supposed to be kind of like a one-time deal, but that kind of snowballed into something else.
Okay,
I
so
guess
you just kind of went down for the count, I guess, because you liked her and she kind of pressured you because she wanted to be your girl, and you thought that tell me if I'm right, and you thought that if you told her the truth that it would be a problem.
if I tell my main, yeah, but my side, yeah, I've
Well, yeah,
told
because
her.
okay, but your side, you told your side right out the gate, right?
Right, yeah.
And let me ask you this: do you think if the two were switched, right? Do you think that your side would have the same problem as the
The man.
yeah, if they were in different positions, do you think your side would have a problem just like your main has now? Like if your side was your main and your main was your side, your main now, who would then be your side, would probably be okay with the situation, or do you think that she wouldn't? I mean, you did say
Nah,
that
she wouldn't,
and how do you know that?
because when I first met her, I was talking to somebody else, and then I quit messing with them, and then I had started talking to this
Okay,
person.
but did she know you were talking to somebody else, or was it kind of a thing?
She didn't really know until kind of like it was a while ago. It was like some years ago. I've been with this girl for like 4 years, and then this other girl came along.
All right, so here's my thing. You realize that eventually you probably gonna get caught.
It's gonna blow up in my face.
It's gonna blow up in your face. So, but here's the thing: if it blows up in your face, how do you think your main is gonna react? You think she's gonna leave?
Yeah, yeah. It'll probably be done. And I guess really my question is, and I guess because there's a lot of different variables that go into it, but I guess my question is that I have two girls. I like them both equally, I think they have their strengths and areas where the other doesn't, and I'm kind of at a crossroads to where, you know, I either kind of need to shit or get off the pot, so to say.
Yeah.
And it's just kind of hard to try to pick someone, and I'm not really good with picking. So I'm thinking, and correct me if, you know, and maybe this is probably the question I'm asking, if this is a good line of thinking, or maybe I'm just way off when I say, you know, maybe I can just back away from both of them completely, but I feel like if I do that, then I'd be completely blindsiding my name, and she probably won't understand why. And
So but you're also being a fucking coward. And
yeah,
here's the thing with this. You know that this thing's gonna blow up in your face, right?
right,
And you also know you like both of them, right? So you're trying to say you don't know which one you would pick. You both have different things that you like or you don't like. But here's what the real question is. The question is, do you want to be monogamous? That's the real question. Do you want to be in a situation where you got one girl? Or do you want to be in like a polyamorous or even if it was soft polyamory? When I say soft polyamorous, it's like you're messing with two girls and they're not messing with somebody. Because what I want to explain to you is that you can have, and in this life you can pretty much have whatever you want. Okay? You can have two girls, you can have three girls, you can have one girl, you can have a great wife. The problem is you just can't have it with everybody. Does that make sense?
right, yep,
And the point is that all of this stuff takes away from you. Because you got to balance the two, and you got to lie, and you cheat and steal. And ultimately, as you do this lying and cheating and deceiving and sliding around, what you're doing is you're eating away at your self-esteem. And what happens is we've all been in a situation where we've done things that we know what was wrong, and then we feel guilty about it, unless you're some kind of sociopath, right? And so what's most important is that you got to be the dude that you need to be first and foremost. And that has nothing to do with either one of them. Does that make sense?
no, you're 100% right, man.
And so,
You're 100% right.
so here's the thing. If you're a guy who ultimately is not going to if you're the guy who this is who you are, then you're not living your truth, and ultimately you're gonna be in a situation where you end up hurting yourself in some way. Does that make sense?
And, yeah, but you know, and it's not no but behind it, but I just said but again. But aside from that, I'm saying that, you know, I get it. It's kind of a crappy situation. You know, I followed, I was one of those guys who used to have a hard time, you know, talking to women and, you know, just getting girls' numbers and things like that. And I've been a big fan of your podcast, and you know, the Patrice O'Neal and Opie Anthony, and I've watched a lot, and from that time I've, you know, picked up so many different girls, and I guess it's kind of become kind of like a curse sort of deal to where, you know, I just get so many advances from girls, and
it's a curse. We have cursed you, right? Oh my God, I feel so bad because you got pussy falling out of the sky. Here's my thing, though. All of that is fine and good, but what I'm saying, what you gotta do is, it's great that you learn things from the old stuff, and you're in a situation where you can access things, access women, and access these social situations in a way that you couldn't before. I'm happy for that. But what I'm saying is it all goes away if the foundation from whence you came is not authentic, credible, and empathetic.
Right.
And
And I think that's
what'll also happen is because you like this girl, you like this girl, and you like that girl or whatever, you could end up, you might be, this will happen sometimes, it should have blown up in your face, and then you really feel like, oh wow, I didn't even realize I liked that girl as much as I did. And then because of that, right, now you running around chasing somebody, and all that bravado that you got where I've cursed you in a way where you just can't, you just ass is just falling in you out of the sky. It all goes away because the way you get, the way you're, what's not attractive and attractive. There's never a liar that is attractive.
right.
So
And I think, you know, and I don't mean to cut you off, Dante, and you know what? I think that's one of the biggest takeaways I've gotten from you and Patrice. And you know, that's one thing that's what bothers me so much, is because I've tried, you know, my best to not live my life as pretentious as possible. I'm one of the most,
but you are though. You are.
you
I can
know,
say you're
and
trying that,
not,
but you are absolutely doing that. You're not
and I,
you're not following the creed. And I'm going to tell you, no matter what happens, there's never a situation where this doesn't end up bad. Here's how
so let me ask you this. So
Sure.
what would you do and to relinquish yourself from the constant headache and the you know
the
self,
burden of the burden of being a piece of shit. I would tell him.
yeah.
I would tell him. I would tell her.
One already knows, but you know,
Right,
the
but
other.
so you only got to tell one. So you only got to tell one. You got to say, listen, you know, I love you. I care about you. We haven't been through so much. I'm 30 years old. I'm still young, and I don't want to be monogamous. And so it's probably best that I let you know that I want to sample some other cake, you know? And it says
Right.
this is no reflection on you or your inadequacies or anything. I'm just in a place where this is what I want to do. And then go do it. And then at least you give her the opportunity and the chance to make her decision.
Right. That's fair. That's fair enough. And
Especially
you know,
if you
I think,
care. But I mean, you in love with her? Do you love her?
yeah,
So
no question.
here's a situation when you know she's getting ready to run into that wall. At the very least, what you could do is give her a chance, give her an off ramp before you, you know.
So what do you do about the other? What do you do about the other person that's actively pursuing you like a?
Now, is she under the impression that if the other girl is going, that she's going to be in the first row?
I mean,
Well, you mean
yeah. I mean, I'm not like, yeah. I'm not out here just, I've calmed down a lot because I
okay? You giving me the
understand,
bullshit. Does she think that she going to be in the front row if you get rid of your girl? The answer is yes. There's too much of a pause there. I already know what the answer is. Here's my thing.
yeah,
Here's my thing. If you're having such great success with women in general and your ass is falling out of the sky, right? Then and you feel like you got to understand something. We only get what we think we deserve. And when we get something that we think we don't deserve, we end up losing it. It's almost like the cosmic and universal laws say, yeah, you shoplifting the pussy. And you don't really think you that dude. You kind of think you that player because you get in the action, but in your head, you don't think you're worthy. Because a guy who thinks he's worthy of that will say, yo, this is who I am. And I'm unapologetically, this is who I am. Do you want to rock or you don't want to rock? And I'm going to tell you from my own personal experience, 9 times out of 10, nobody goes nowhere. They get angry. They bitch at you. They might even, well, I don't let nobody call me no names, but I mean, they're gonna be a little upset about what goes on and whatnot. But the bottom line is, when it comes down to it, they're gonna they're gonna be like, yo, is my life better with this dude than without him?
Right. And I'm not, and I think that's probably like my biggest, that's probably like my biggest drawback. And I could just say that for anybody who
It's
aspires to have.
that's a huge drawback, is the fact that when it comes down to this, right? And I get that you understand, you even expressed with a level of honesty that this wasn't your life before, pre Dante, right? So,
Right.
and I understand that because this is new. But what you have to understand is your value is what your value is. And just because people don't know what your value is, or they don't have the emotional acuity or the intellectual acuity to understand, that doesn't diminish your value. Okay, you don't never let anybody else define you, because it won't be long until you ain't shit. So we're in a situation where you ain't living righteous. And
Yeah.
I to be honest, I want to say this, but I don't want to say it because I don't want to. I can't guarantee this, but I will say this: if you believe that you are deserving of the relationships that you want, you'll be honest enough to say it and give her an honor. You'll give her an opportunity to decide that, because you ain't gonna know if you really that dude until you open your mouth and you say something. You feel me?
Okay. Yeah. But, there's such a thing as, if you know a person, you kind of know them, and it's a good chance it'll probably go how you might anticipate it going.
Yeah, but probably not. Because you're not
Right.
really being your true self. A woman is a direct reflection of the guy she's sleeping with. You understand?
Interesting.
So if you and this is just years of me being around women in general. Women, I don't know if you know, like, and you could probably say this if you haven't, stolen her soul. But women they'll have women who they go to the club with. They'll have women that they go to school with. They'll have women that they thought out with. Women will have different groups of women that they hang out with. And they're like, they compartmentalize
Based on the activity.
Right, exactly. And men, we have a tendency, that's my dude. Yeah, but he's an asshole. Yeah, I know, but it's my dude.
Right.
So that's a difference in the way we are. We're true to it, where women tend to be very malleable. So you find that when a woman will attach herself to a man, and then her evolution is part of who the guy she's with. So I'll give you a real example. If you get a guy who's abusive, a guy who tends to be very abusive, usually this is a woman who's not going to progress and grow, because it's hard to progress and grow when somebody's choking you. You don't mean, I don't mean to be disrespectful, but you know what I'm saying? It's hard to get your masters when some dude is choking you. You know what I'm saying? Or when you're living in fear, or when, you know what I'm saying? It's also a situation where if you not putting it down in the bedroom, there's a good chance that she might step out. Like, all of these things are contingent upon you two being together. And here's the thing: you're not gonna really know who you are until you follow the principles. You feel me? Right.
And I totally agree that there's a, I agree that there's a.
But you got to do that. I mean, I'm not telling you got to do it today, but you got to. I would do this before it blows up in my face, and then everybody's hurt. And from what you're saying, even the side chick, what she's doing is she's hanging out with the intention on getting the front row.
Right.
So, but if you're saying this is who I am, then women will go, this is who he is. I can make a decision about it. I can make a decision about what I want. What you don't want to do is take her decision away, because then she has a reason to resent you.
Right.
And I've been with girls who knew what kind of dude I was and what kind of access I had. And if they didn't want to ask those questions, they just didn't ask those questions. They just didn't. You feel me?
Right. But you're in a different class. You're in the upper
That's
echelon.
let me say something. No, I'm not. If you listen to the theme song, one of the things I say is I was you before you was you. I had fears. I had girl dog. I told this story on one of the lives before where I was in 4th grade. My girlfriend in 4th grade cheated on me and then took me in the middle of the schoolyard and told me it was quits, bitch. Fuck you, Stacey Diggs. How about that? And I was, and you know what my response was? I wasn't even gonna work. I wasn't even gonna break up with you. It was kid stuff, so it was like 7. She did 7 minutes in heaven with the head of the basketball team, and then they found out about the weekend. And when I came in Monday on lunchtime, she told me it's quits, bitch. And I was like, I wasn't even gonna break up with you. That's the kind of punk I was at the time. I just wanted to. So what I'm saying is, you learn to be. You have to set a destination about what kind of guy you want to be, and you ain't living righteous, dog.
Right. So and on in that aspect and that front, I totally agree. And it's one of those things that just being a just following the the rules that were laid down. I understand. Hey, I'm out of pocket. And
well, then you got to be.
When you at.
Let me look. You're going on a diatribe, but I'm gonna tell you something that puts this all in a big capsule. The greatest thing in the world about being a bitch is that tomorrow you don't have to be. So we can yap about the nuance, getting the weeds, but the bottom line is, if you don't want to be this dude who is unempathetic, because what you're doing is you're being unempathetic. So we know what the principles are, right? There's authenticity, there's credibility, and there's empathy. You are not doing any of those things. You are being untrustworthy. You know what she believes, and so you know what her expectations are, and you're not even showing up in the way that either one of them wants you to show up. You're misleading the side joint because you know that she wants to be in the front row, and you haven't really been honest about the fact that you're just not ready to settle down. And you're being unempathetic because you are driving this train high speed, getting ready to run it into the wall.
Yeah.
And your confidence, the confidence that has gotten you access to the social dynamics that you're in, it are going to dwindle away, because when all is said and done and you're in the house and the shadow from the ceiling fan is whipping across your face and you're not listening to me and your friends are not there, you're going to know you ain't shit. And you're going to know that there was somebody who you cared about that you misled her on the point, and for selfish reasons.
Yeah, I agree. In that respect, yeah, it is a very.
And so,
selfish thing
I mean, and it's not just a selfish thing, but what I'm saying is, even if you really want to be selfish, you do this. You follow the principles because it makes you a better person. It's what makes you a blueprint. All right. So, I mean, you gotta figure it out. You know what I'm gonna say. And if it gets funky, you know how to get me, DanteNero.com. Click on consult. You can book a session with me and we can really talk about this. But I'm going to tell you something. What's going on is you have self-esteem issues. When we lie, why do we lie? If a guy says that he's 5'6" and he's only 5'4", why does he do that? He does that because he doesn't think that 5'4" is good enough. So in his mind, he's tricked himself. If I could just be perceived as 5'6", it'll be enough. But nobody is just 5'4". We are kind and empathetic and handsome and sensitive and strong and all those things. We are, as human beings, we are all these things at once. And people accept you as the whole ball of wax, right? So the fact that whatever your insecurity is, you got to figure that out and you got to fix that. And the way you start with that is with the 3 principles. All right? Let me let you go. Thank you for
All
calling,
right,
bro.
man. Hey, definitely, man. Thank you for the support, man. I'm definitely tuning in, man.
I
Thank you for
appreciate you.
dropping through.
Tell a friend, please. Let's grow this. Let's grow this family. That's what we got to do.
Most
Peace.
definitely, man. Everybody, man. I'm definitely tapping in with you, man. You the man.
All right, bro. Easy.
Yes.
Here's the crazy thing about all of that. It's a situation where, like, so even people, everybody talks about Black Phillip and this and that, and there was things that I said even then, right? I'll tell you some dirtbag shit that I said when I had gotten married, right? And I was still skeeving around and shit. I knew that I was gonna get married, but I was fucking around so much. I wore a ring. I wore a silver ring on my ring finger. Why? Don't get me wrong, it's diabolically ingenious, but it was also some dirtbag shit. Because when I did get married and I had my wedding ring, right? When I had my wedding ring, I always wore a ring on my wedding ring finger. So I could, when I go out, I would switch rings. If I didn't wear any ring, I would have a tan. I would have a tan on my ring finger. But everybody that knew me knew that I always wore a ring anyway, so it didn't matter. But I was literally doing something with the intention on being a dirtbag. There's something wrong with that, bro. There's something wrong with that. Anybody tell you that there's not something wrong with that, it's because I didn't think I was worth it. And so because I didn't think I was worth it, right? What happened? I would lie about it. Then when I realized, but here's the thing, 9 out of 10 times, whenever I was honest, nobody left. But to be honest, nobody left because why? Because I was also valuable to a certain extent, I would say. I mean, women saw me as a viable entity. And because they saw me as a viable entity, and when they found out or when they decided, or sometimes they never asked, they would be like, yo, this being with this dude is dope, and I would rather be with him than not be with him. It's weird. I've also said a lot of times, and I talk about marriage a lot of times, people get married and then, women want the wedding but don't want the marriage. Like if you're saying you want the marriage, right? You're literally in a situation where you're signing up to fuck your husband for the rest of his life. And you're supposed to satisfy that. Just like she expects you to keep a job and keep a roof over the head and make her feel safe and make her feel fulfilled and all that. She's signing up to be your sex partner. And that's why she's asking for monogamy. But here's the thing, how to the same token, what old boy that just got off the phone is saying is the same thing women do. They'll say, I want to be married, and then they don't want to fuck you, or you can't get blowies no more, or whatever. And then but they still expect you to be the support group and the provider and all of those things. It's got to go both ways, and I think a lot of times these things have to be said. You got to talk about it. You have to say it, because the assumption, what we do is we get married, and then the assumption is that, we're going to be fucking forever. But it don't never happen that way. Things change. And I'm going to tell you something. I've thought about this 100 times, man. When you really start practicing the principles, when you are truthful at nauseam, you're truthful. When you are credible all the time, when you are empathetic, right, you cannot be a better human being. There's a lot we got to call. Let me get into this real quick. The thing about this is even, hold on one second.
To accept, press 1.
Who am I speaking to? Where you calling from?
Hey, my name's Eric.
What's going on, Eric? How you doing, brother?
Oh, I'm all right. How are you?
Where you calling from, bro?
I wanted to be too specific, North America.
Okay. All right. Fair enough. Can you give me a state?
Uh,
It's fine. Don't
no,
worry about it. Don't worry. Don't even
okay,
worry about it. Don't even worry
okay,
about it.
I
Okay.
appreciate it.
Go ahead. But go ahead.
Yeah, just want to congratulate you, on the podcast and
Thank you, brother. I appreciate it,
all
man.
the success.
I appreciate
Yeah.
it, man.
So yeah, I'm in a dilemma about I don't really want a relationship.
Okay. That's
I
fine.
want to I just want to kind of, get
Well, let me just say this.
know,
Let make it be clear. Be clear. Every girl doesn't want a relationship.
yeah, I know.
Every girl that sleeps with you doesn't want and doesn't necessarily want you.
Yeah.
It's weird. My pops was old school, right? And like old school. When I mean old school, he was homophobic, right? And so he'd always be weird about gay dudes because he'd be like, he'd think every gay dude wanted him. And I was like, nobody wants your old ass, dog. Stop. So it's like, but this arrogancy where we think just because of you're messing with a woman that she wants a relationship and then she wants to lock you down and then when you find out it's not that, right? Then your feelings are hurt and you're chasing her. So you want to be, what do you want to do? You just want to play the field, or what do you want to do?
Exactly. Yeah.
Okay, so but here's my thing.
That's not my dilemma. Yeah.
How is that a dilemma? Is that, I mean,
I'm
you in
saying
a-
that's not my dilemma.
Okay, what's your dilemma? What is it that you want?
Yeah, so I want to play field, but there was some, I don't know, I'll just call it a series of unfortunate events.
Okay.
Life is life.
Okay,
but,
you got to just tell me what's going on, dog. You already didn't tell me where you're from, so nobody knows who you are. Just say you got to talk. I don't need the lead up. Let's get to the point. Let's be precise.
Yeah, so it's basically, I'm in my mid-20s, still virgin.
Okay, all right. But you're talking about something that's not even an option yet.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Okay, but then what you're gonna do is say, look, I'm 21-year-old virgin. I want to know how I can get some ass and how I can, but you got to
just basically without the escort thing because I don't want to go.
Yeah, well, I mean, I've never had an escort, never paid for an escort, and never will.
Right.
But that's not the point. I mean, it's like, so when you ask somebody a body count and somebody says to me, whenever I hear this, well, do we count prostitutes? No, we don't count prostitutes. So here's my thing. You describe yourself to me. If I asked you what kind of guy are you, what would you say?
Mellow, I wouldn't say non-talkative, but I gotta know somebody to really
shy.
have
You
in-depth
shy.
discussions.
You shy.
Yeah, I guess you could say timid.
Okay.
Yeah.
First of all, let's start this because these calls got to move quicker. I need you to be honest. I want you to understand that I'm not judging you. I don't know you, but I'm here on this platform to help you. Okay. And so what I need you to do is to be honest and upfront and this kind of thing. I mean, I don't have you on video. You just talk. There's no voice recognition. So just say what. So you're 21-year-old virgin. You're shy. Are you a good dude? Are you a kind dude?
Yeah.
All right. Are you? Or if you had to rate yourself on a scale of 1 to 10, what would you call? What would you say?
I'm like a 5, bordering 6.
Okay. Let me ask you this: when you say I'm a 5, bordering 6, are you in good shape or no?
I wouldn't say so. I'm not like cut.
All right, but are you in good shape or no?
Yeah, I don't have hypertension or anything like that.
That's not what I'm asking. You know what I'm asking you. Stop beating around the bush.
I'm healthy.
I didn't say are you healthy. If you got your shirt off, what's somebody gonna say?
Yeah, you need to lose some weight.
Okay, so
but I'm not obese.
Okay, stop. Just stop. I need you to be focused. Here's what I'm saying. If you do you drive? You
Yeah.
got a driver's license?
Yeah.
You have a car?
Yeah.
Used car?
No. It's
Brand
like
new. Brand new car.
no, it's not new. It's not new like that.
Dude, you're driving me crazy, dude. I just need a straight answer. Is it a new car?
It's
What
an
year?
Acura.
What year is the car?
2019.
2019. Okay, so it's a fairly new car, but it's a used car, right? If you were trying to sell that car to somebody, so what if you were trying to sell the car and it was a used car, right? What would you do to sell a used car? You would clean it up, you would armor roll the tires, you would make sure the oil was changed, you would make sure that it didn't make no noise, whatever was fixed, and you would sell the car based on that so that you could get the best price, right?
Yes.
Okay, so if you are not the best version of yourself, right? How do you propose to sell yourself or the option of being with you if you're not even working on being the best version of yourself?
I go to the gym.
That's not what I'm saying. You heard my question. Answer my question.
Well, I better myself. I read.
Are
a
you
lot.
are you in the process of being the best version of yourself, or are you being lazy?
No, it's not laziness. It's just, women just don't. I don't attract them.
Okay. All right. So, are you talking to women? Are you doing any? Are you making attempts?
Yeah.
Did you grow up with your dad?
Yes. Half. Well, they got separated.
Okay.
Like
Is
10.
your dad like a smooth dude or no?
Yeah.
Okay. Did you talk to him about this or no?
Yeah. He just doesn't understand it. It's really a Gen Z thing right now. Listen. I mean, there's a lot of things.
Okay, you gotta stop. You gotta stop. I don't care about Gen Z. You and I are on the phone. Whatever the problem is, we have to deal with because when you say it's a Gen Z thing, what you're in essence saying, well, everybody has the problems that I have, right? Which gives you an option to not focus on what your shortcomings are. Everybody, Gen Z, all of us I've never given a fuck about what somebody else was doing. You gotta be the best version of yourself, and you gotta stop looking for the excuses to do this. Here's what I would say. I've talked about this 100 times. I don't know how long you've been listening to the content, but one thing you gotta do is you gotta understand, laying the 5 bricks is the first step. I've talked about this 100 times. There's a lot of nuance to it to a certain extent, but what you have to do is you have to start with the first thing is you're shy because you're afraid of the fact that you might get rejected. And you're in a situation where you're not really doing the work to even understand this. No, but there's nothing wrong with you being a 21-year-old virgin. There's nothing wrong with you not being able to.
Mid-20s.
Whatever it is, you could be 40. It doesn't matter. The point is, nobody taught you. So your expectations to be something that you've never been taught is not even being fair to yourself. Do you understand that?
Yeah.
If nobody taught you, how would you understand the dynamics? That's why you're listening to the podcast, right? So you have to have So you have to have 2 things you want to learn something. If you want to, if you see those little girls that ice dance, right? And then Christy Yamaguchi and they do the triple Lux or whatever. When all of us was sleeping, those little kids was 4 and 5 years old at 4 o'clock in the morning on the ice. That's why when you watch the Olympics, they were at the Olympics. So what they did was they had somebody that took them, created an opportunity, then somebody that paid for a coach, paid money for a coach. Even when they got the coach, they didn't just take any coach, they got the best coach. And then they had somebody who took them from a place where they barely could skate to the point where they were proficient. And so when we look at these little girls who are flipping around and spinning around on the ice, right? You're talking about if they're 17, 18, a lot of them have been ice skating since they were 4 years old sometimes. 2 things that men are supposed to be able to do, or at least society says that men are supposed to be able to do with no practice, is have sex and be good at relationships. be good at women. And there's nobody teaching them anything. Some guys have a knack for it, or they fall upon it, or they just kind of have that flow, or some of them are better looking. But I mean, even me now, I mean, look at this thing with Will Smith. Will Smith, you would think that Will Smith was on top of the world, but he's living, I've said this 100 times, he's worth $500 million. He's living in a house, swimming in an infinity pool full with his tears because he's in a house with a woman who doesn't respect him and doesn't love him. So do you understand? It's a skill. It's a skill set. It's not, and I don't mean a skill in terms of you trying to fool somebody. I just spent 15, 20 minutes talking to a dude who's being deceptive, you know?
Yeah.
So you gotta understand you have to be taught. If you're interested, I'll you just keep listening on. You can sign up for the Patreon. On Patreon, I teach. I give the technique on the Patreon. It's patreon.com/manschool202. I also am in a situation where sometimes if you book a consultation, I'll take you but you got to have a coach. And so first thing you have to do is understand you have to forgive yourself. Not that you really need to be forgiven, but you have to forgive the fact that you don't know, that you don't know something that was never taught to you. Do you understand how ridiculous that is? That you would hold yourself responsible and be shy and be timid about something and be ashamed of something that you never was taught? There's no other situation that would happen. Go ahead, say what you were gonna say.
Trying to, are there any like fast ways or tips or, that can engender these things?
Say that again. Repeat that real quick.
Are there any quick tips that you have that would just fast things that would engender confidence or what?
There's no fast anything. Anything worth something is worth a just sacrifice. And if you want to be good at it, you got to work at it. The first thing you do, I'll tell you, I'll say it because I say it all the time. The first thing you have to do is you have to make a commitment to go out and pay
the 5 bricks.
You got to lay the 5 bricks. You pay a compliment to 5 women every day. Literally, I used to say 8 weeks of it, but I don't even say you start that. And then what happens is the first thing that happens is your fear comes first because you feel that you're going to be rejected. Second, your fear is that you're not powerful enough, that you're not going to be able to, to affect these women, or they're unaffected by you. Thirdly, you got to be honest. You got to practice the principle: authenticity, credibility, empathy. Nice guys like you are always worried about being perceived as an asshole. And because of that,
I'm not nice.
well, that's a problem, because you still got to have empathy for people. If you're not,
I just mean like the nice guy label.
Well, if you're not the nice guy, then why are you not getting laid? How are you being an asshole and not getting laid? Or how do you have an opportunity to be an asshole? None of that is congruent.
Right. I'm talking about like the incongruity of the label. Like they say nice guy, basically,
I don't care what they say. You're going off on these tangents. And the reason why you're going off on these tangents is because you are ill-equipped to put yourself in these social situations and succeed. That's just what it is. You want to learn, you got to learn. You got to start with laying the 5 bricks. There's a fear that you have. I've had dudes do the 5 bricks and trip and fall into some ass by accident during the 5 bricks, and then they get all cocky, and then they be like, "Yo, I got it figured out," and then they end up, falling on their face. Because you have to internalize your confidence, and your confidence comes from you understanding what your value is. Secondly, you have to remove the fear that you have about failing and being rejected. Third of all, you have to understand the nuance and the subtext that's going on when you're talking to women, because 65% of all communication is nonverbal. And how could you, and then we're literally talking about, Doug, let's be honest. If you wanted to do something as simple as play ping pong, if you never played before, you ain't gonna be good at it, right?
Yeah, I've heard the analogy.
So think about women who are beautiful, kind of moving and changing and emotional things that are always changing, and then you got to ride that tornado, dog. Come on, how do you get that without practice? It's not easy. It's not easy to do. It's simple, but it's not easy. And the principle, you got to start with the principle. But when you say I'm not a nice guy, and that's cap. Because if you're not a nice guy and you're not getting laid, then you're being an asshole because you're not getting laid.
Yeah, I wouldn't say I'm an asshole. I'm saying like just a neutral dude.
So if a pretty girl comes to you, you're not going to be a nice guy. You're not going to hedge your bets to be sweet and kind because she's the hottest thing that you ever seen. That's what you're trying to tell me you would do?
Just like hypothetically, because that, I mean, cordial. I'm a cordial guy.
You hear what you keep answering the question that I'm not asking. If the hottest girl you ever seen was talking to you, right? Are you telling me that you're not going to be taken aback and be a different dude with some girl that you think is hot as fuck, and that you have an opportunity that you could smash?
Yeah, I'd be shocked.
Okay, so what I'm saying is, you don't even know who you are, and you're because I guess because you don't want to be perceived as who you are. But if you don't believe me, look at the chat, dog. The chat is saying what I'm saying. You're deflecting and you're being dishonest about who you are. And I want you to understand something. This is not me coming at you. What this is me telling you that you're already not practicing the first principle, which is being honest. It's okay, dog. It's okay if you don't know how to talk and you don't know how to chat nobody up and you don't know. How would you know how to do it if nobody ever taught you?
Yeah.
But you got to empty your cup first and you got to be honest. Book a section. I'll take you wherever you want to go. I promise you.
All
that.
right.
Okay?
All right.
Damn. Shit. I gotta get off, man. Shit. We only been on for an hour. But man, I really appreciate you calling. I go because Godfrey is out in LA. We getting ready to go into Godfrey We Trust in a few minutes, and I gotta jump off. I'm gonna tell you what I'm gonna do. For those who are on the live right now, I'm gonna try and do a live on Thursday, an impromptu live. I'll do a live on Thursday at, let's say, 8 o'clock. All right, you know what I'll do? Those in the chat, give me 7. The options are 7, 7:30, or 8 o'clock. Put it in right now. Whoever's in the chat. Let me see how many I get real quick before I shut this down. Let's move. 7, 7:30, 8 o'clock. Thursday. What do y'all think? Let me see what's in the chat. I got 8. I'm gonna take 2 more. I'm gonna take 3 more. Hey, George, what's going on, baby? I ain't spoke to him in a minute. 8. Okay, so 8 it is, y'all. I can't do 9, George. 717. So 8 o'clock it is, yo. 8 o'clock, I got a bunch of 8s. I got a couple of 7s too. God damn, but more 8s. So we'll do it 8 o'clock on Thursday. I'll do an extra live. Tell your friends, please do me a favor, y'all. Like and subscribe. Please hit the bell when y'all come through. Hit the bell so that we could so that you get the notification when I do go live. And don't forget, we don't forget to like, subscribe, notify the bell. Don't forget that I will be working coming soon. I got this other thing going on in a minute. I'm working on this political podcast. It's gonna be fun, something to help my soul out. Yo, it's so 8 o'clock on Thursday. That's what it's gonna be. As a family. Sweet, BYBB, get your balls back. WWDB, what would not say? Being podcasted. Yo, I love y'all. We out of here, man. Sorry I had to cut it short. We'll pick it up. Peace.